Day one of people not getting their SNAP benefits here in November, and I'm here to remind you, I don't feel bad for them. Do you realize that people on SNAP benefits are eating better than the rest of us? We literally have to scrounge and budget for our groceries for our children. We have to plan meals. We have to be ingredient households just to feed our children. And mind you, half of the people on SNAP benefits are illegal immigrants. Over 60% of them are illegal immigrants. This was never the way that it was supposed to be. Churches are supposed to feed people, food pantries, that's what they're there for. And somehow people felt comfortable letting the government control whether they eat or not. How embarrassing, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't need all the people in my comment section, in my DM saying, what about the people who fell on hard times? And what about disabled people? What about elderly people? Yes, those are the people that should be on it. Do I think that there are 42 million of them? Absolutely not. Do I think that it should cost $7.8 billion with a B to feed them every single month? Absolutely not. Do I think that the reason why our groceries have gotten so expensive is because of programs like this and illegal immigrants coming in and stealing our resources? Absolutely. That's definitely part of the problem. So no, don't feel bad. Keep the government closed. We need to see this through, and we need to make sure that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we gotta reset. We have to reset. I remember during the 2008 crisis, everybody was saying let the banks fail. It's funny because now that we're saying that we need to reset the system completely, now that people are not interdependent on it because they don't get any benefits, now people want to be in an uproar. It's crazy to me that we don't understand that most of the people that's on government assistance are not even people that's either from the United States of America or knowingly is scamming the food stamp benefits. And then again, of course, people are going to say, well, what about this person and this person? Similar to what she just described, similar to what she just said, and they not taking the full context into consideration. This system is broken. It's 100% broken. And never in my life, because again, we live in this entitlement world where everybody believes that they deserve to have a child. Everybody believes that you can have as many children as you want. And it doesn't matter if you can take care of them. It doesn't matter if you're actually doing the right thing by them. It doesn't matter who's feeding them. It doesn't matter whose tax dollars when property taxes are so high. And then I'm a deep dive into this whole Walmart thing. I know for a fact that Walmart, and this is not a YouTube talking point or anything like that, Walmart sells 25% of all groceries inside of the United States of America. How much are you thinking that they benefiting off of these government assistance programs of food stamps? Billions, billions and billions and billions of dollars are being poured into the coffers of these large corporations and consulting companies and contractors that are standing up and maintaining this system that's allowing for other people to take advantage of it. Of course, a large corporation that's making billions of dollars or that's generating billions in revenue is going to want to ensure that the most SNAP benefits come through because I'm sure they just rolling over and rolling over into this subsidized whole nonsense. But when people got to spend their own money, they not as willy-nilly, right? You start paying attention to the prices, you start paying attention to the essentials. Because see, when we was growing up, it was important for us to be very, very careful what we bought. You just couldn't go out there and buy a bunch of steaks and stuff like that because we had to actually pay for it with our own monies. And we refused to be a part of any government daddy program. And so when I raised my kid, I came up with that same mentality. I will work my ass off until the middle of the night before I ever let my daughter starve. And thankfully, over the last 17 years, that has not been my story. And it's not because we wouldn't have been able to qualify for it if I just worked my 40 hours or I worked half-time or part-time and then went back to playing video games while I was talking to y'all on 15, 16, 1700 dollars and iPhones and stuff like so many people are doing. It's because I was intentional to the point to where I even refused to have another child because I realized that all of the things that I wanted to do with the child that I have was going to take everything that I had within me, or at the very least, what I thought was going to take with everything it had within me. And so that's my responsibility. Nobody else's, not the federal government's, nobody's. That's my responsibility to take care of and make sure that my daughter is straight.
We get rid of everybody who is on these benefits that don't need them.
My heart is truly broken this morning, and let me tell you why. And you got to be self-centered and unaware of what's going on in the world for you not
Pulling
to
on
have
the
a broken heart.
heartstrings.
My heart is broken for all the people who cannot go to the store, who will not have Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving meal with their family, or almost Christmas.
Why do we keep mentioning Thanksgiving and Christmas? Like, Jesus, Lord have mercy. Help me, 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 help me.
Meal with their family because they no longer can afford it. They no longer have EBT. They no longer have SNAP. I'm a byproduct of what that was. Do you hear me today? The real truth of the matter is that I grew up on EBT. I did, right? With no shame. I don't know how on God green earth my mother or my grandmother would have been able to feed me, or my mom with a family of 6, 7. I don't know.
Here's the question that you should have been asking yourself. Why would they have 6, 7 children? Why would they have 6, 7 children when they couldn't feed them? Because see, I'm just gonna ask the question that I think a lot of us are wondering, because just because they had them doesn't mean that it was the right thing to do. And just because you grew up on them and this generational trauma was passed on from the grandmother onto the mother, don't mean that it was logical and that it made sense. Somebody paid for you. It ain't the government's money, it's somebody else's money, it's taxpayer money.
How? And here we are, here we are today. And with the government shut down, and families are affected. Imagine the single moms who have been doing it all. They've been getting their kids to school, barely got gas, clocking into work, barely can be there on time because they got a sick child, or can't even go to work because they got a sick child, and then they get no pay for it. And then on top of that, we want to take food off their table.
Everything, and just because they talk.
Listen, I don't care about what politic party that you are. It comes down to how we are as human beings. Imagine the kids who don't get food already at home, and they come to school to get food just to go back home, not to have food.
People think that just because they get riled up that it make their point any more relevant, and it doesn't. It doesn't.
I don't get it. So I am in heavy prayer. And so many people can say, well, they need to go to work anyway. They need to, shut up. Be quiet. Because if the trauma ain't never, if starvation ain't never, ever hit your doorstep, you close your mouth.
Starvation.
If you ain't never had to walk in the refrigerator, walk in the kitchen and walk in the refrigerator and don't see nothing but the backyard because it's so empty, shut your mouth.
So sassy. So sassy. All of this, that don't make your argument any stronger. And no, we not going to keep talking about it. And even though, yes, I was born in the inner city of Detroit and we struggled, government has never been my daddy. I only had one father, and he was a phenomenal hard worker. Oftentimes had 2 and 3 jobs and a hustle. So I don't care how much people clap and all of this stuff. That don't mean nothing to me, man.
Put your money where your mouth is and bless some people instead of you and your egotistic silver spoon in your mouth. Oh, I'm this, I'm flying. I fly in the room when I walk in there. Shut up and sit down, because God will humble you.
Now God is going to humble you because you don't agree with the way that, and let's be clear, the majority of people on government assistance is scamming. That is a fact. That's not my opinion. So now God is going to humble you for being a hard worker that other people are taking advantage of your food stamps to make sure that they provide it for. God, I got you.
He will humble you. So my prayer is that God will intervene in this situation.
My prayer is that if you are of the ilk of God's covering, then he will never let you go without, and it ain't got nothing to do with no food stamps. I ain't never going to depend on another man to make sure that I'm taken care of when I say that God is omnipotent and is covering of my life. You see the difference? When I pray, hey, God, make sure that they never in this situation ever again by giving them the ample opportunities and the wherewithal to make sure that they take care of business. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. You eat what you kill. God gave everybody talents and the ability. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. And if you gonna give something, let me just say this before I get to the rest of this video. If y'all gonna give something, give it because you want to and not because somebody else told you to. Because as a person myself that spends tens of thousands of dollars every single month making sure that everybody's taken care of, that invests in everybody else's business, that goes out there and passes out $100 bills, that pays for people's groceries, I'll be damned if I let somebody else tell me that ain't giving nothing if somebody else tell me what I'm supposed to do with my money that I work for and that I'm already getting taxed for.
Listen, I'm like I said, I'm not picking no political party. I ain't doing that. I'm just talking kingdom. Okay? And my heart is broken. My heart is broken as a father. My heart is broken. I thank God that my wife and we can give my daughter a little something. My heart is broken for the parents that can't. Do you hear me today? So before you cast judgment on, oh, this is good, they need to be taught a lesson.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do no more. I'm sorry, y'all. Always linking back to the content creators. That link will be down in the description. Teach Hanley 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. Make sure you join the Bag Chasers. Best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. That way you don't have to depend on the federal government for your kids to be fed.